Season 3.
Season 3 or season 1, who knows, right? Yeah.
Season 1 of The Vampire Lestat.
Yeah.
Chapter 1.
Yeah. Why not?
Massive tone shift.
Yeah.
You knew going into this project that it would eventually get to a point where you were going to have to switch lanes completely, correct?
I was excited when I first read these books before they even gave me the job. I read the first 3 and I was like, wow, look at that. That's fun.
What did you think of the Vampire Lestat book? Because it is so wildly different.
Yeah, I was first off, I was like, what happened to her between this and that? And I was just trying to figure it out. But I thought she was just really bold. I thought she just said, I did that well. I'm going to do this now. And I found it exciting, and that was one of the reasons why I could dedicate 5 years to this.
Okay.
That'll be fun thing to do when we get there, if we get there.
Did you ever imagine a version of this where it was actually set in the 80s?
I think my version, what I wanted to do, I wanted to make him a symphony conductor because I was terrified. In all these things, you're terrified that the music's going to suck, right? And so I just wanted battle-tested music. And then a very wise and a smart executive, president of the company, said, "I'm not making vampire tar. Get out of here." And also Sam made a good point. He's like, "I really want Lestat to sing," and so once I gave that up, we were in it. And once I knew that I had Daniel Hart, I was like, "Okay, we can do this."
When did you and Daniel start putting your heads together about the music for season 3?
Honestly, I think the first time I approached him about, would you do music for me? And 3 years from now, you're going to have to do this. Probably was in the first half hour of our conversation in his backyard in Altadena. Yeah.
As the first 2 seasons progressed and the character of Lestat developed in Louis' point of view,
Yeah.
did you know what the point of view shift would look like for season 3?
I mean, I guess, this was this was a good exercise for me. It was very important for Sam about what's true, what's not true. And eventually we stopped asking that question of each other because we knew we were just these varied degrees. There's nothing that's not truthful. There's very few outright lies in these things. So we knew he would accumulate. We had to just go, okay, especially about what would the music sound like, where would he land, how would he make a band. We just started going, we'd have to go, what did he do for 265 years? Where was he? What was he listening to? What happened? To come out to that old decision. Because you do have to kind of go, why a rock band in 2025? Right? So musical influences, sound, and then what he wanted to say about himself and what he didn't want to say about himself, that we could throw events and obstacles and dramatic situations to try to get to that stuff.
And so much of the music informs the story.
Yes.
And some drives some of the story.
Yeah.
Did you worry about some of the songs being too on the nose?
Yeah, always. There are some songs that are on the nose on purpose, though, right? For effect. There was a lot of, you make great hires, and then for the most part, try to get out of the way. Don't micromanage it. So Daniel was out there a lot of times, just feeling inspiration about certain things, and so a lot of times on our writing this year was reactive. He would come in a song and go, okay, how do I make this work? There were other times when I was like, we're going to need this, we're going to need that. But that was the exciting part. We're so bored of each other, sitting there with our dumb boards, our stupid cards, and like suddenly there's this wonderful thing where you go, ding, 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 the bell would and a new song would come in, and we'd all gather around, we'd hear the song, like, what do we do? And it was, I will miss that unless someone keeps asking me to do musicals and stuff. Yeah.
It's a bit of a joke in that he's not a huge rock star.
No.
So how do you...
Who is a huge rock star?
How do you go about...
Billy Joe. Maybe you are.
But how do you go about getting music that is rocker and it's Lestat, but it's not going to be hugely successful?
Do you know how many great rock bands there are out there right now? Do you know how much great rock music is being made right now? Has nothing to do with the quality of the songs. It has to do with the nonsense landscape that we're in, and now probably we're looking at like 2 generations that have sort of like turned their back on rock and roll. It might be ingrained. I don't know. I'm waiting for the Kurt Cobain. There's some incredible bands in LA. You could just go to see this band and you'd be like, why is this blowing up? And you're just like, oh, stupid culture. So it's never about that. And there was never any handcuffs on Daniel to write bad songs. This is all about you just don't. You just can't, I mean, there's some meta about that for our show. Our show is not this ginormous hit. We just have these craven fans that are just expanding every year a little bit more. There's probably a little meta nodding a wink to that a little bit. What's going on?
All right, now our other characters, because something that you and Hannah and the writers have dealt with is that this book doesn't give a lot of real estate to the other characters that are established in the world of the show.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of Louis in the book. There's not a lot, there's certain characters that come in. So how did you guys go about filling in those gaps and making sure that Jacob was serviced?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of books that we built. Our job was this. They give us 12 books. So we can steal a little bit from books that are deeper into the series. But for the most part, we've also built, as we're making these, building on top of Anne's books, the story has just developed, and we're gradually becoming our own TV show, as opposed to this. We'll never not be reflecting off of what Anne wrote, but we already have these sort of tentacles that are going this way and that way. And more than anything, we have great actors, and you'd be foolish to not, to squeeze as much as you can. But there was a test. It was like the idea is to let's write for these characters, but it has to be as good as anything. You've seen how many TV shows, Damien, have you seen where they have tried to shoehorn a character that really has no gas left in the tank? That is not the case for this season, and but we worked hard to do that. So it wasn't hard. We just, that's what they pay you to do, right? Just like, hey, make good scenes for good actors. That's your job.
Okay.
Go do it.
A lot has been discussed. You and I have discussed frequently about the point of view and the honesty and what version, Louis gave us his version of Lestat, the accounts of their relationship. This is not a revisionist history.
No.
But do you feel like we are seeing the true Lestat, or is he also manipulating our opinion of him?
This comes after episode 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So there's this framing device at the beginning, the failures. The thing that we thought about in the writer's room, we thought a lot. There's a Samuel Beckett play called Kraft's Last Tape. And that's what we were talking about. We kind of know in our heads when and where he's recording this. But I think he takes it as a lark at the beginning. It's like, oh, I'm kind of friendless right now. I got nothing to do. I'll just start and tell you my little story. And as he's, like anything else, as he's getting deeper and deeper into it, he's going somewhere with it. And he's looking inward. And that's not something that I think Lestat sets out to do. But so in terms of like objective truth, there is no objective truth anywhere in any of our lives, in any of your lives at all. You don't know what you did. You can only the things you have incorporated. So that's never a super big issue for our show. What you want to look at for this year is where and when he's doing that. There's stuff that he wants to talk about, what he's exchanging with on the tour with Daniel on the documentary, and then there is this other shell looking back on it, and that has its own drive going forward too.
How many albums are in the failures?
There's 111 of them. We talked about like some of the missing ones or whatever. There's ideas for us where he just decided to he just go to local like he would get like a Daniel Steele novel and just start reading it, and that's one of
that's one of the albums.
He just was like, so there's some fun to be had about them.
It takes a bit into the season before we get to see our guys together. I mean, we get to see a great
Are you talking about two?
Yeah, like Jacob and Sam.
Yeah,
They get the conference room table.
Yeah, that's a 2.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
and then we see the FaceTiming, but before they really reconnect.
Yes.
How daunting was that for you? Because you also had to play that last year where Lestat was solely...
It's a tap dance, isn't it? It's psychically, right? Psychically, you want them to be... I mean, this framing device of the failures, he basically says, it's an omniscient history. I'm everywhere, right? So he is thinking about where Louis is in time when this was happening to him, because he knows where the story is going. Mm-hmm. So he is in those times thinking about him. So, but your whether it's thematically or psychically, there's a lot of very clever, I think, handoffs that are happening. What's happening in Lestat's life, what's happening in Louis' life at the time. And there's even a fugue state moment in episode 3 where they're all He's, so you do that a little. It's always right. It's the hardest thing to try to pull off, right? Your two stars are not in the same room, but we have a lot of really wonderful characters, some new characters, and we have this absolutely manic, out of control lead performance. So you could put Sam Reed as Lestat in a scene with a dry cleaner right now, and it would work. I think. Yeah.